we tend to postpone the most important things in life. And apart from all the other important things in life, if this Qur'an is what we are convinced of as being the book of Allah, how come in our personal life and in our family life we don't have a commitment to study? We have commitments for all other things. And you know it. And I know it. We live in the neighborhoods of one another. We live in a human society. You can see us prioritizing our priorities. We have scales of preferences. We make choices. We put aside money. We put aside time. We have commitments. Where is the commitment to study this Qur'an? The Qur'an tells us in the next verse, اعلموا أن الله يحيي الأرض بعد موتها. This is an example to us. We who live in Canada, when I first came to Canada, and I lived in one of the coldest places called Winnipeg, known formerly as Winnipeg, and the summer was beautiful. Oh my God, you can see life dazzling you. But when the fall came, everything started to fall. But when winter came, it was really winter. Almost all the trees looked like if they were living dead. There was no evidence of life on them, yet they were standing. You cannot believe even the grass turned into a different color. But when spring came, everything that appeared to have died sprung to life. This is an example for us. The Qur'an is telling us, "I'lamu," equip yourself with that understanding that your life and my life, which appears to be so dead, the life of the average mother and father and family is generally a dead life as far as divine guidance. It's generally a dead life. We have lots of life for everything else. And you can see the evidence. And this book of God is not meant to put any burdens on anybody. All the burdens, Muslims put it on themselves because of ignorance. All the burdens you see with Muslims, that many Muslim fathers and mothers and children, they have a very token relationship with this Qur'an. It is because of the burdens they inherited from their society. And unless you do something extraordinarily special to get out of that burdensome society, you are not going to be part of an enlightened society. Why is it that people always want their cell phone wherever they are? Why is it people want their credit card wherever they are? Why is it people want their driver's license wherever they are? How come we don't keep the Qur'an wherever we are? How come? It is because of the burdens that were placed upon us, and those burdens we continue to fetch. The Qur'an is not a living manual with Muslims. And God is telling you and me, look at our lives. I'lamu, develop the kind of knowledge and understanding that would make you and I see sense in the fact, the phenomena of nature, that Allah gives life to that earth that appears to you and I in common cliche language, dead. But the earth is not really dead. But the signs of life have regenerated. The earth is not dead. The earth doesn't die. Study the people who live in the deserts or live in the savannas and Africas and whatnot. There are times that everything looks dead. But with drops of rain coming down, you see the dead structures starting to become full of animation, life. If you take it for the earth and stop there, that's all you will see. You will say, look how this earth is beautiful. Don't you see there are people who are going about the land? And they're just going about and admiring the biological growth in spring and summer, and they're fascinated. There are people who are fascinated, but they don't learn the sense in this. The sense in this is that if God does this to the earth, He can do this to you and to me. And that's the point we're missing. We seem to be happy with our life, which realistically and practically is dead as far as the Qur'an is concerned. But because it doesn't apparently hit us very hard, because we can see we are still vibrant economically, we are vibrant politically, we are vibrant socially. Look how my family, they are all educated, they got their degrees, they're on their feet, I feel very nice. This is the common thought. Who would be happy to leave their children in a society with so much of mess? Then we need to know that unless we relate with divine guidance, we are like the dead earth. And the dead earth has very little value as a savanna of greenery, of watery plains. It is Allah and His message that can change my life and your life. The challenge is, do we want it? Today happens to be a very big day in the life of Muslims at large all over the world. Tonight especially, hundreds and thousands and millions of Muslims will go to their masjids. And they will do all kinds of things. Because they think tonight is the night when the Qur'an was revealed. There is no evidence of anything like this in the Qur'an. There is no need for anybody to become fanatical about any day or any night. This is not the teachings of guidance. This is the teachings of tradition, which has kept people spellbound in relating with divine guidance as if it is a lottery game or a bingo game or a scratch game. And you know divine guidance is not magical. What you and I have not been putting into our life and the life of our family and community, we cannot reap it overnight because it is a special night. So there is no magic in the Qur'an. There is no mystery in the Qur'an. There is no bingo or lottery in the Qur'an. The Qur'an is based on what? On the natural law of what you work for, that you will get. What you sow, that you will reap. If you believe in this Qur'an, this is the teaching found in chapter 53, verse 39. All of those things that are outside the Qur'an that people have made a life out of, they are accountable and responsible for what they do. It's not how many times you call the name of God or the attribute of God that's going to make any difference. It is how many times you and I commit ourselves to understand the practical reality of these things and put our lives on track with it. It has nothing to do with how many times you say God, God. Aren't there people in the world? There are people from other religious denominations. If they got to pick up a shoes, oh God. They got to fix the tablecloth, oh God. They got to sweep the floor, oh God. Muslims are not far behind. Every day almost you deal with Muslims, you hear them with these Arabic slogans, Jazakallah. Where does this Jazakallah come from? Why if I move a stone that is in the way that you can hit your foot, why God must reward me? We tend to put everything on the path of God. We seem to have the treasures of God, so we share it out easily. Jazakallah, Jazakallah, Jazakallah.